Hello, welcome all of you. We are learning velocity analysis by polygon method, and in that we have solved some problems earlier. Let us go further and solve some more problems. You will find problems will be different from each other, but the principle by which we are going to solve them, that you will find it remains the same. So we are going to start the next problem. Let me draw the figure first. So the figure is like this. This is problem 4 going to be. So this is the mechanism that is given. Then the points are named like this: A, B, C, D, and F. The distances are given. Okay, so this is the mechanism that is given. Direction is like this. So all the links are given, and then we are asked to find out so many different things which are right here. Find So they are all the different things that are asked. We will find out these many different things, and all of us know how we do it. First, let us specify some link numbers. So the fixed link we are always numbering as 1. Fixed link is 1. This will be link number 2. This is 3. This is 4. This link is 5. This link is 6, this is 1. So we have named different links. And then we start with link number 2 because velocity of one of the points on the link we know. So for link number 2, we say velocity of any point B is equal to velocity of a point which we know, that is point A, plus velocity of B relative to A. Now here A is 0 and this vector is given by magnitude, is given by length AB into the angular velocity of B with respect to A, and this value we know, millimeters per second. This we know completely by magnitude as well as direction. This is going to be perpendicular there. Maybe if you want you can show it like this. So we know this. Now we go to link number 3. So for link number 3 now, for link number 3, velocity of any point which you want to find out, that is C, is equal to velocity of point which you know, B, plus velocity of C relative to B. Now again velocity of B is this, and velocity of C related to B, that is going to be equal to the length of the link multiplied by the angular velocity of the link C with respect to B. So this link is going to rotate like this, either like this or like this. Now you can imagine, since it is going like this, that means this will come close, and that means this will go like this. So the direction is going to come like this, anti-clockwise. But then that will be decided after the polygon, not now, not by judgment. So that we have to find out. But at the moment, omega is not known, so you don't know the magnitude here. So write here magnitude not known. But we know that the direction is perpendicular to the link CB. Direction is perpendicular to the link CB. Now after this link 3, now let's go to link 4. So for link number 4, which is slider, we can only say that velocity of C, we don't know magnitude, but the direction is parallel to path. That is horizontal, like this going to be. Now with this information, we will start drawing polygon over here. So say velocity polygon So you have to set some scale depending on what size you have got here, and then we draw a fixed point, that is F and A. So somewhere where we mark point A and F. Velocity of A is 0, velocity of F 0, so dot. Length of the vector is 0. Now we show this vector which is completely known by its magnitude and direction. This is the magnitude, direction perpendicular to length AB. So from A, we draw a line like this, parallel to this line or perpendicular to this line. So when you draw that, this could be the line, and this is going to be point B. And this is velocity of V with respect to A. Velocity of V with respect to A. After this, what we can do is, we can now go to this equation. Direction is perpendicular to CB. So from B we draw a line which is going to be perpendicular to link CB, like this. So we draw a line like this. This is perpendicular to CB, like this. Then for this we draw a line in the horizontal direction. This is velocity of C with respect to A. So from A we draw a line like this. This is parallel to C, path of C. So that gives us point C over here. So this is A, F, B and C, and what vector we wanted to know, which was not known earlier, that has been obtained here by its length. So since the name of the vector is velocity of C with respect to B, the head of the vector is at C and the tail of the vector is at B, and this is velocity of C with respect to B. Then other vector C, when nothing is written, that is with respect to fixed point A. So this is C with respect to A. C with respect to A. So that is going to be this vector. Arrow, that means the head at C, tail at A. Velocity of C with respect to A. So you measure these two lengths, and this will be this vector and this will be this vector, which were not known earlier. So you can write, after you draw the polygon, now you say here, from polygon, that means we were not knowing at this stage. So at this stage we have gone to polygon, drawn the polygon, and polygon has given us the values. So from polygon we got the information that velocity of C with respect to B is equal to so much millimeters per second. That means this length. And once you know that, because of that, this omega which was not known earlier, now we got directly this. Without knowing this, we got this. So now these two are known, so you can find out omega. So you can write that omega of C related to B is going to be V upon length. So this you will get by radius per second. And what will be the direction of this angular velocity? For that you have to put this vector, velocity of C, with respect to B. With respect to means the observer is at B and the observer is looking at C. So this vector you put at C, so it will be like this. So I am putting this vector here. This is velocity of C with respect to B. So look at point C from point B. So when we are standing here, this point C appears to move like this. That means the omega is this way. So the direction is anti-clockwise. So that is what we were talking at the start. We were saying that it will be like this. So it has come like that, which is anti-clockwise. So write here ACW. Velocity is anti-clockwise. And the other thing is the velocity of C with respect to A. This is a linear velocity. This also is a linear velocity. So this is towards right. So this is going to move towards right. So we got the velocity of C with respect to a direction we have already shown here. So at this stage, if you see here, at this stage we have solved the problem to the extent of simple slider and crank mechanism problem, which we have already solved. So problem number, I think 2, if you see, it is something like this. Now in this case there is some more mechanism linkages are given. So there are some more additions here, link 5 and link 6. This is 6. So link 5 and 6 are also there. So now let us try to find out other velocities. In the meantime, you will realize that we have found out velocity of B with respect to A, velocity of C with respect to B. Then we have found out angular velocity of C with respect to B. This much we have already found out. Now we have to go to link number 5 to find out the other things. Maybe you can find out this velocity of D with respect to B. We have found out velocity of C with respect to B. If you find out D with respect to B, it will be, now since D is the midpoint, so somewhere here it will be D. So it is point D. And now velocity of D with respect to B will be this vector. Like this. That is velocity of D with respect to B, which will be required for the next part. So what we do is, now you can write down this much. Then I'll erase this part and we'll solve the rest of the problem over here. Okay, so write down this very well. Okay, so now we will go to link number 5, because for link number 5 we know velocity of one point, which is D point. So velocity of D we know with respect to A, which is this. Velocity of D with respect to B, in fact it is this rather. Velocity of D with respect to B is this, and velocity of D with respect to A, this is A. D with respect to A is this vector. So now let's go to link 5. So consider link 5. for link number 5. So you will find we are writing similar equation every time. So now we are going to write equation for link number 5. Velocity of any point on the link which you want to know is equal to velocity of a known point. So we write like this: velocity of E is equal to velocity of D plus velocity of E relative to D. You will find we have formed the equation by making use of the same principle which we have used earlier. So velocity of D is already known. Now the other one is length ED multiplied by the angular velocity of E with respect to D. E with respect to D. That means this link will have some kind of a rotary motion. So that angular velocity, when you multiply by the length, so R into omega, that is going to be the velocity of E, which will be perpendicular like this or like this, depending on the direction of rotation. But right now we don't know the angular velocity, so magnitude of this particular vector we don't know. But direction we know, perpendicular to the length, link ED, like this. Okay, so nothing more can be done beyond this point. So now we go to link number 6. So for link number 6, we can write similar equation: velocity of any point on the link is equal to velocity of some other point which you know, F, plus velocity of E with respect to F. And it is a vector equation. Now this is 0 and this is equal to length EF multiplied by angular velocity of E with respect to F. V equal to R omega. Now omega here again, angular velocity we are not given how much is the angular velocity of this link. So we don't know that. So magnitude you will not be able to find out. Direction, yes, perpendicular to F. You will find we have written something similar. So the direction of this vector, velocity of E with respect to F, is going to be perpendicular as usual. So for an observer standing at F, you will find that E is moving like this or like this, depending on the direction of rotation, which right now is not known. So we are leaving only up to this much. So now we have to go to the polygon. So how do you put this information in the polygon? It says magnitude not known, direction is perpendicular to ED. So velocity of E relative to D is perpendicular to ED. So from D, we draw a line perpendicular to ED like this. So from here we draw a line like this, which is perpendicular to ED. Perpendicular to this link, we have drawn a line like this, perpendicular to ED. And then coming to this equation, velocity of E with respect to F, that is going to be perpendicular to EF from point F. So here is F. So from F we draw a line. This is perpendicular to EF we are drawing. So these two things, direction, direction, these two directions we have shown here for finding out the point, that is E point. So E is lying on this and E is also lying on this. Therefore this is point E. So point E is here. Once you get point E, then velocity of E with respect to F will be EF line with the head of the vector at E and tail of the vector at F. So this is vector velocity of E with respect to F vector. So this vector is here. Then velocity of E with respect to D vector. Arrow at E or the head at E, tail at D. So this is velocity of E with respect to D like this. So suppose now if you want to find out where is this equation, velocity of E, when nothing is written, that means with respect to A or F. is equal to velocity of d plus velocity of E with respect to d. So where is this equation formed here? Velocity of E, that means this vector, is equal to this vector which is this way, and this vector is this way. So if you concentrate only on these three lines, then you can say that this vector is equal to this vector plus this vector. So if you draw, I will just draw this much part, like magnified part. So this is velocity of d with respect to a, where this is d, this is a, and this is velocity of E with respect to d, such that this is point E, and this is velocity of E with respect to a, or F. So velocity of E with respect to d, over here, velocity of E with respect to a, this vector is equal to this vector plus this vector. So you can see this equation which is written here is represented by this triangle. It is represented by this triangle which is formed here. So you can see, you must have learned the vector addition sometimes back. So suppose you want to add, you are given vector A and you are given vector B, and you are asked to find out C equal to A plus B. Find out vector C, which is A plus B. So what do? We take vector A. So I will draw vector A here. Now when you draw vector A, you will say this vector is same as this vector only when it is parallel and of same length. So this length is same as this length, and the direction is also same. So this vector is same as this vector. Now this vector you want to add. So when you want to add, you are putting the tail of this vector on the head of this vector. So this vector you draw here again as it is, so that this tail is on the head of the earlier vector. This is the head. So now A plus B, when you want to do, then this is going to be the addition, and when you do the addition, this is the addition of vectors. So velocity of C vector is going to be this, A plus B. So this is a simple thing which all of you have done sometimes back, and now this is the application of what vectors we have learned. Now if you still want to know why it is so, okay, this is fine, but why do we do like this? Then for that, the important thing to be noted here is that vector addition is something where we are taking into account the directions of the property also. That means suppose I am asking you scalar quantity, 10 plus 20, how much? 10 plus 20 both are scalar, so 10 plus 20 is 30. But suppose there is a vector of size 10 to be added with another